The thing about fear is that everyone's afraid of something. You aren't alone. From a purely survival instinct point of view, we are genetically hardwired to pay more attention to risk and threat than we are to happiness. After all, for much of human history, we have been less likely to die of happiness and more likely to be attacked by a saber-toothed tiger. We had, and we have, to pay attention to threat. Or is the threat even real? Or does the fear of something wrong happening completely warp reality? There is a risk that all life on Earth will be obliterated by a giant asteroid or a massive solar storm. But is that actually a reflection of reality? Hardly. That's the thing about fear. It isn't real. It isn't tangible. It's mostly self-induced. Yet the impact of fear has on our perception means that it can quite often overshadow common sense, as the fear of threat is elevated way beyond what is actually real. This is so to such an extent that, at times, all that some people can feel is fear. All else has been swamped by this intangible, unreal, unreasonable warped version of reality. Fear is an unrealistic representation of reality, effectively destroying reality. When people experience change in their lives, when they have to make life-changing decisions, when they have to face confrontation, or any of a number of different situations, quite often the extent of unreasonable fear is such that people will avoid the threat. They will avoid the threat and content themselves with a more restricted life, for if there's one thing fear is successful at doing, it is restricting life, including life choices. And quite often, when restricted by the straitjacket of unrealistic fear, people will perceive the fear itself as if some form of monster, a dragon roaring at them, sounding very much like, "I'm going to eat you and spit you out as a cinder," even though none of us understand dragon language. Yet perception makes us fear the worst, and so we run like hell away from the dragon. Yet only by understanding the monster of fear can we ever understand that our lives demand better than being controlled by something as intangible and unrealistic as fear. You will never understand the dragon by running away from the dragon. Why not? Well, because it's a dragon, and it can fly faster than we can run, and the more we run, the greater the fear becomes. Therefore, simply stop running. Haven't you noticed? If the dragon had wanted to catch you, it could easily have done so, but didn't. It was only your irrational fear that made you run. And think about it. In the mythology of every culture, of every land, of every age of mankind, dragons hoarded gold. That dragon you thought was chasing you to eat you was in fact chasing you to give you something shimmering and golden and precious. That dragon was trying to show you there was in fact no reason to be afraid, trying to give you the treasure of courage to embolden your life, in the sure knowledge that the fear was unfounded and had stunted your life. And now you have the gold, so now you are a dragon. How can you speak dragon? Well, that's another session altogether. In the meantime, spread your wings and let the world understand that dragons are not confined to mythology. If you're going to believe in unreal things, why not believe in dragons?